Should you preheat your air fryer or not? In this video, I'm finally going to get to the bottom of it. I'm going to cook 3 of the most temperamental baking recipes in both a cold air fryer and a hot air fryer. If they can survive being cooked in a non-preheated air fryer, then trust me, anything can go into a non-preheated air fryer.
So the first thing I'm going to do is test out 2 batches of bread. These are identical. I've weighed every single ball in both of these and they all weigh 37 grams exactly. The tins are the same size. I'm going to put this one in cold and then this one is going to go into the preheated drawer 3 minutes later. And we'll see if there's any difference in the 2 when they come out of the air fryer. Okay, so here's the first one. It's going to go in the drawer cold. So let's turn this on. We'll go for bake. And I'm going to go for 200 for 15 minutes. Right, now while that is cooking, I'm going to put the other drawer on to preheat. Let's do the temperature 200. I'm going to give it less time because it's preheated. So let's take 3 minutes off it, 12 minutes, and preheat is on. Let's go. Okay, I'm going to check on the preheat here. There you go. Temperature is perfect. Let's not lose that temperature. Just get the thermometer out. Pop this one into the preheated oven and go. So the one that went from cold has been in there for 12 minutes. I can't resist a little peek just to check it's okay. Oh, that looks good. That looks good. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to tip it up actually and see if we can get it to have an even crisper bottom. So there we go. Let's put it back for the last couple of minutes. Okay, so this one had 15 minutes on bake from cold and then I flipped it over and at the end it had an extra 2 minutes just to get that bottom really, really brown. But it went in cold. So let's get this out and on a cooling rack. Now this one has had 12 minutes, but it went into a preheated oven. Let's see how it looks. Perfect. So let's do the same again and flip this one over. Take it out of the tin. And I'm going to give that 2 minutes. So that's had a bit of extra baking time. Oh, that's perfect. That's absolutely perfect. So that had 3 minutes on bake. And I'm going to take that out now and put it next to the other one. 2 tins of cake, which hopefully were exactly the same. So that one is 550. And this one, 550. Perfect. So I'm going to put this one now into a cold air fryer drawer just to show you. I've had the thermometer in there. It's now showing it's nice and cool to the touch. So this one's going to go in to bake in the cool drawer. And then this drawer here is going to preheat and I'll pop that one in slightly later and we'll see if there's any difference at the end. So that drawer's now preheated. Let's pop this one in. Bit dusty from when the bread was in there. So I'm going to put this in for slightly less time than that one because I'm taking away the time that the preheating has happened. Okay, let's see 20 minutes how this one is done. Okay, that's clean. That one's done. So this one has had 4 minutes preheating time plus 17 minutes cooking, as opposed to the one that went in cold, which had just 20 minutes cooking. Let's see how this one is. I have a feeling it needs a little bit longer. No, absolutely fine. So we have 2 cakes now. Let's have a look at these. This one here was done in a cold air fryer drawer. This one here was done in a preheated air fryer drawer. Can we see any difference? I mean, it's a little bit of a marginally more of a rise on it, but there's not much between them at all. And you definitely can't tell which one of those went into a cool air fryer and which one went into a preheated one. now that the icing is on. Now, if there was ever a dish that is supposed to go in a hot oven, it's a souffle. So I'm going to put it into a cold air fryer. It's supposed to have 25 to 30 minutes at 180 in a normal oven. I'm going to go bake 160 and we'll put it in for 20 minutes and see how it does after that, taking the preheat off. Okay, this side has preheated, so let's put the other souffle into the hot drawer. Okay, so this is the cold souffle. Oh, it was very close to the elements there, wasn't it? That's perfect, absolutely perfect. It's not too liquidy, but it's nice and crusty on the outside. Now this should be a little bit moist inside, but like not runny. Perfect, absolutely perfect. There we go. That's great. Let's see. Ah. Oh dear. Oh dear. I thought that might be a problem. Oh wow. Okay, so I've kind of killed its rise there because I had to get it out from under the element. But you can see this souffle has risen more because look, it's got the little mark from the element. So it has risen, oh, hot. It has risen slightly more. I can't compare them side by side because this one started to collapse because it's been out of the oven for slightly longer. But I would say just on the basis of how difficult that was to get out from under the heating element, that the pre-warmed drawer did in fact rise more.
So I just want to wrap up this debate on whether or not you should preheat. I'm guessing one of the reasons that you bought an air fryer is for convenience, because we all want to be able to get our food onto the table for our families as quickly as possible. And I think that the most convenient way to use an air fryer is by not preheating. Just simply putting food in at room temperature, putting your time and your temperature into the air fryer, pressing start and walking away and carrying on with other things. You've just seen the results of 3 particularly temperamental recipes cooked side by side in both a cold air fryer and a hot air fryer, and there was barely any difference between the two. Arguably, the souffle had slightly more of a rise, but how often do you cook souffles? The gain from preheating is so marginal that it's not worth bothering with. My advice to you, nothing bad will happen if you don't preheat, so don't bother.